Welcome back to my 12 Days of Christmas. This is day 8 and today's show is Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and I'm very, very excited for this particular video because we're going to be doing another different sort of reaction for Buffy, and it's one I've been meaning to get to for a while, but I thought I'd save it for like its own separate video, and then when I was coming up with ideas for this kind of series this year, it suddenly occurred to me that I could react to this. So this is some behind the scenes of Once More With Feeling, which is obviously season 6 episode 7 of Buffy. Quite possibly my favourite episode of the show. It's such an amazing kind of accomplishment on behalf of everyone involved, really. Just such a stunning piece of television, and I'm looking forward to getting a glimpse into some behind the scenes. I've seen like a few clips here and there. People sent me a lot of clips after I reacted to the episode and everything. So I've probably seen a few bits and pieces of whatever this is. I think it's like a big compilation of lots of stuff, but there should be a lot that I haven't kind of got a glimpse of before, which is going to be really interesting. Yeah, I'm excited to see, what went into making this episode, the process and everything, because I imagine it was a lot of hard work putting this together, especially when, they're on a tight schedule, I'm sure as it is with a TV show, and they still have 22 episode season to make, so they can't spend too much time on one single episode, I imagine. So, it's probably quite an exhausting process for them all. But the end product, I think, definitely made it worth it, because my God, what an episode that was. So I'm excited to check out some behind the scenes, and let's get into it.
And the show's so musical, it's so Tony shot was Tony shot. Over the top, so overwrought emotionally. It feels like they're about to sing the song anyway. So it seems so logical.
That's fair.
Last season he had mentioned, I want to do a musical. He had written the script, he had written the music, he had orchestrated the music,
Damn.
he had played the music, and he and Kai had sung everything. So there was a complete package sitting on my desk.
Okay, they did like demos.
Mind-boggling.
It's cool to see it from that angle. I wonder how much of their time filming the entire show was spent in graveyards. I remember first watching this, I burst out laughing.
I was thinking that there'd be probably like 20 people in frame.
20
That two of them might do some
Do you even need to just talk about
most of them are just
individual frames, and just the one mustard scene takes so much planning.
Got 2, 3, mustard.
You just showed me that one clip. I never would have guessed that's from Buffy. Oh man. Who's laughing?
See, I just couldn't hear the lip sync.
Oh, someone sent me this. This is adorable. Oh, I love her so much. These are my favourite songs in the show. Having listened to so many of them now, again and again.
You're just hanging out with me because you can't talk to your friends about your problems, but you don't really care about me, so get the hell out of my
Oh my God, his normal voice. What is this? You can see how into it he is, feeling it. He's really all tensed up and everything. That's great.
And action. Take my love and bury it in a whole 6 months. That's great. And let me rest in peace.
Learning to dance.
Even dance rehearsals, yeah, that must be, something you don't normally have to do.
7, 8, and 1, 2, 3.
Oh, this is something to sing about.
This is the best part of rehearsal. The part where you finally get air conditioning.
It's true. I always liked that move, I don't know why. Oh yeah, you had like a whole dance to yourself, didn't you? Oh, those dummy things, oh, they're creepy. Ugh. I could do this bit. Just sat there, everyone else is dancing around me.
Buffy customarily takes 8 days plus second unit. We always have scheduled.
That's what I figured, it must take a lot more.
Complicated as Buffy.
I'm prepared, but it's like, with our song, it's at the end, it's like a 3 or 4 count, and then it goes to like a you're counting and like your titties is gonna thin. Sure.
Oh, is he quite nervous?
Yeah, it's crazy.
She's also really greedy. She
You
never.
guys are beating.
This is my.
I love how they cycle back to that Beady Eyes thing later on as well. Same.
I'll never tell. I'll never tell. I think the session's over. Thank you, people. Tara begins to sing under your spell.
Ah, good. I thought they'd skipped over this.
She's become such an amazing person because of meeting this other person, and she thinks that it's because of Willow that she's become this
Wholesome.
together. She wasn't like that before, and so she's talking about, I'm under your spell. When I'm with you, I'm this amazing person. I'm everything that you know.
And of course, the ironic twist.
That way.
Finally, I knew. That was terrible.
Finally, you knew.
It's a bra strap that she sewed on the back of my shoe because it wasn't staying on.
Oh, wow.
Thank you for coming and doing this for
Oh,
us.
sure, man. Like being a demon.
Don't we all? And I want it in everyday life, you know.
I love that bit when his suit changes colour. Such a good cut. Doing so well.
Hinton Battle, who plays Sweet, would obviously...
Oh, is that the guy from Angel at the bottom there?
dancing.
The bottom
Been in
left?
the business a long time, never actually worn prosthetics.
Shah-Jahan?
To me, he can't just be a demon and he can't just be a guy. He has to be sweet. He has to be slick. It
Has to
takes
be
a lot
sweet,
to
you say?
really,
We should work this out.
The minions I thought were very, very creepy. They were actually done not
I
by
agree.
us, but by a company called Harlow Effects.
This is called a mic. This is called my friend. This is not my
You're the singer.
I'm the singer. What song are we doing?
I think we should do standing.
Giles comes to the conclusion, whether right or wrong, that he's actually...
Like he says, whether right or wrong,
It's that
doesn't necessarily agree with him.
I can't fight my kids' battles. Hearing a certain pompous British guy singing at my house, and then him getting everybody else to sing, and James.
That's cool.
And all the people who were hanging out, realizing I got a bunch of great voices.
I felt like it was the perfect point in the show to do musical if they were going to do it. You know all the characters so well, and you can kind of buy into a musical about them at that point.
When we know home is near.
I love that harmony as well. It seems like a lot of hard work,
God damn it, blah blah blah.
but they had fun doing it.
Now you get the behind the scenes.
Okay, well that was an absolute delight. I loved getting a really good glimpse at the whole process, and I kind of how I assumed, you know, the fact that they only had a certain amount of time normally to film most episodes, and this one was an even more ambitious kind of project. It makes sense, like the amount of pressure they were under, and the fact that obviously everything was kind of written, and the songs and demos and stuff were recorded quite far in advance, and it was really interesting to kind of see all the aspects of the production come together in that way, and the fact that, you know, normally about 8 days to film an episode of Buffy, and I know a lot of shows are like that. I believe Arrow was like 8 or 9 days an episode when that was shooting as well, so I think it's similar across most like shows that have 22, 23 episode seasons, because, you know, you don't have a lot of time. So that was really cool to kind of get some glimpses behind the scenes and how much thought they have to put in even just that like 15-20 second mustard song, and on top of like rehearsing on the actual sets and recording the songs, and, you know, probably like making cover art for things and stuff like that, and then actually just shooting the normal scenes and choreographing scenes and, you know, studio rehearsals. Like there's just so much work put into this like one episode, and it's just kind of nuts and crazy how it all comes together. And even extra little pressures, like if they're running behind, they had to, you know, put the sweet makeup on really quickly, and they had to get it right first time basically. Otherwise, you know, it was going to look horrible. So lots of little things there that you may not even consider when you watch it like 10 times through. So it's just that great appreciation of, you know, when you rewatch the episode. I've seen it 4 times now, I think, Once More with Feelings. Definitely the most I've rewatched an episode of Buffy. Normally because I feel bad for rewatching them because I could just be recording new ones, which I shouldn't really have that attitude, but you know, it is what it is. But yeah, I really did love getting some insight into how it all came together like that. I wonder if there's more behind the scenes stuff about the reprise version, the Giles and Tara duets. That's my favourite song in the episode. It'd be cool if there's something about that, I don't know. I imagine this was from like the DVD and stuff, which I guess I do have, so I'll have to check it out and see if there's more on there, I'm not sure. But either way, this is a really nice look at how it's all coming together, and the fact that, you know, the choreography may not necessarily be finalised. Even the bit with the opening, going through the motions, how like the demons were moving and stuff, it seemed they shot a version of that was quite different to what ended up happening on screen, and then you saw them actually change the choreography a bit, and it became a bit more familiar, like the punching and how the demons were moving and stuff. So that was really interesting to see them pick and choose and go on the fly at times about how the choreography was going to look. And when they were choreographing something to sing about, and they were like, oh, you know, if they want you to do more, we can just have you step and click in the background if you need any more from that. So that was really cool. Actually having the actors in the sessions recording the music was really fun as well. I'd seen the clip before of Alison miming the mustard thing, which is adorable, but I hadn't seen the rest of them in there, I don't think. And you just really got a nice sense of like the familial bonds they all had, and they got along so well. They were joking and taking the mick out of each other, making the best of the situation. I think what's his name? The guy who plays Xander. Oh my god, I've gone completely blank. Nicholas. I think he was clearly quite nervous about the whole thing, and he could still make light of it when he kind of mucked up at times when they were recording. And it was, I guess it was kind of nice for him that Emma sometimes, you know, got the timings a bit off as well. That probably made him feel a bit more comfortable, which is quite nice. But when you're doing something like this, you know, when you get cast in Buffy the Vampire Slayer and you spend 5 seasons kind of just doing that kind of normal-ish thing, you don't expect to have to, oh, you know, we have to go to choreography rehearsals now, and we have to go to a studio to record some singing. You know, it's not necessarily what the cast signed up for when the show first started, but I love that kind of evolution. And like I was saying, I think it was about the perfect time. If you were going to do a musical episode, it just felt like the right time to do it. You know, they moved to a new network for that season, and it felt like a new kind of chapter in that sense. They could do something big and you know, a bit radical and away from the norm, a bit more experimental with the new format and everything, being on a different channel, and it could work in different ways. I really loved seeing that all come together, and just how talented this cast is, like having the energy to kind of have to go through all those different things just for this one episode, and then they have to carry on and film, what, another 15 episodes, I think, of the season after that as well, and, you know, it gets darker and darker as that season goes on, and probably quite draining physically for them, and the whole season as a whole I think is quite emotionally draining, so I imagine it was quite tough for them to get through all that, but I love seeing the work they put into it. It just makes me appreciate it all the more. And having like Amber, for example, or Anthony kind of talk about what their songs mean and symbolise as well. And I love that Anthony was like, oh, you know, whether he's right or wrong, you know, Giles come to this conclusion, because obviously some people, I remember in the comments, and you know, some of the messages I got, people thought Giles was completely wrong to leave, and some people kind of understood it, and I was a bit in the middle. You know, I could see why he'd want to leave. I can understand him wanting Buffy to thrive, but I think at the same time, she's just come back from the dead. You just found out, you know, she was in heaven and she'd been pulled back to hell. I think you could have stayed a bit longer, buddy. So you can see both sides of that, and I like that the characters kind of, and the actors behind them, really delve into that as well and think about that. It's cool that they address it, and they may not necessarily agree with all their characters' actions and stuff, and we know a lot about characters disagreeing, actors even disagreeing with what their characters did in season 6 in particular. I can think of several examples of that. So yeah, that was really interesting, and I think when it came down to it, a lot of them clearly had a lot of fun with it, as you need to. I think you need to really, if you're going to do a musical episode, I think you really have to sell it, and they certainly bloody did, because it all came together wonderfully. And even with all that work put into it, I hope they know that it was worth it, because man, what an episode that was. And a really neat look behind the scenes as well. So yeah, that's going to be everything for this reaction. If there's any more behind the scenes kind of stuff, you know, do send it my way if there's any more feeling kind of stuff. Or let me know where I can find it or track it down, so I definitely want to check more out. And, you know, there's like other Buffy gag reels, stuff like that I haven't seen yet, so there's more things I can react to long after the show's done. You know, I'll have the comics to do, there'll still be Angel for a bit longer yet as well, and all that jazz. So yeah, really, really fun to kind of get a glimpse of the episode from the other side of the camera. It was really, really fascinating, some of the decisions they were making, and the pressure behind it all, but I think they nailed it. Diamonds are made under pressure, and I think Once More Feeling is the diamond. So yeah, really, really great little look at probably my favourite Buffy episode, at least so far. We'll see, I still have 8 more to go as I'm recording this. But yeah, that's going to be everything for day 8, and I will see you tomorrow for day 9.